Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today I want to start the reading vlog for August, and I can't believe we made it to August. Honestly, like, how does it even work? But we're just gonna get over it, and we're gonna talk about books. So August for me is not a readathon month. I had a very cool, fun readathon in July. I'm already starting to really look forward to the magical readathon in September. But August is just me reading what I want in a way, and what I want to read is kind of like catch-up books. So books that I wanted to read up until now, but I haven't really gotten to yet. So we will focus on those books that just got sidelined in the last couple of months. So when we talk about these books, I'm just gonna let you know for now what the first two will be, my audiobook and then an eyeball read. And the audiobook I'm currently still reading is Metal from Heaven. I think the author is called Clarke. This book, unfortunately, is not for me at all. Now, at the beginning of the month, I had 3 hours left, but I just did a ton of cleaning around the house, so now I have a little bit more than an hour left. I'm very close to the finish line with that one, and I just don't like it. Like, I liked the beginning, but it has been like a very constant downward slope since I started reading the book. And it is very sad because on paper I should love this book. And I even said that this sounds like what Mistborn wanted to be in a way, but then it's also failing very spectacularly for me personally. So in this one, we follow a character who has an illness. This character is luster touched. And at the beginning of the book, we have this moment where these workers from a foundry are protesting because they have realized that their newborn children are luster touched, they have this illness, and that it has something to do with the working conditions in the foundry. So this protest is immediately shut down because basically these people appear and they shoot everyone. Everyone dies except for our main character. Now, our main character is only a child. I think at that point she's 9 years old or something like that, maybe 11. So she runs away and she meets up by chance with these bandits, and then she joins the bandits. And these bandits are also all gay. And I do love myself a gay normative world. This is not that. The general population don't really see queer people as equal. However, every character in this book that is important is gay. And I don't know. I know queer people, similar to neurodivergent people, can cluster in friendship groups. Like, I get it. But I don't know, I don't buy it. The whole terminology around this luster-touched illness really rubs me the wrong way. And also, it is an illness because it causes these fits, as they call it, which is basically like a migraine on drugs kind of deal. While that is happening, though, the main character has a magical ability over this material that is causing the illness. And so it's like a magical superpower illness, which rubs me so the wrong way. And there's so much more. There's so much more that I don't like about this book. And I think the only reason I'm able to finish it, honestly, apart from my inability to DNF, is the audiobook narrator. I think they're called Vico Mortis, something like that. And the narration is good, but it's not a good book for me. Like, the main character is supposed to be kind of like uneducated and not like super smart. Like, their abilities lie in other aspects, which is totally fine. But their whole inner monologue is like a lovesick poet on drugs all the time. All of it. And I never understand what is happening. It's so annoying. I really don't like this book. So, sorry. I didn't mean to talk about it for so long. The other book I will pick back up now is We Love You, Bunny. Now, I'm currently about a quarter into this book. I started reading it at the beginning of July and then I just did not continue reading it. And it's because I'm not loving it either. So this is going to be a fun start to the reading month, I guess. But yeah, I definitely want to give it another try because I did really, really enjoy Bunny. And in Bunny, we have a main character called Samantha. She is in a master's degree and she is about to finish that. And her only like classmates is a group of 4 girls. They call each other Bunny, and they seem to be kind of like maybe like a cult situation or something, like something's going on with the bunnies. And in this final year, Samantha actually gets kind of invited to find out what happens to the bunnies. And that is what the first book is about. And now in this sequel, we learn that Samantha has written a book about what was going on with the bunnies. And now the bunnies have kidnapped Samantha and they are kind of telling their side of the story. So we get the same story again, which is a bit weird. But I hope that I'm almost out of that part. And then there seem to be like other parts where I'm not quite sure what the book will do. And then also, it's very long. Why is this book so long? But yeah. I'm going to continue reading that and we'll find out together. So these are the immediate plans and I'll talk to you once I have gotten a little bit further into them. So today is the 8th of August and I have come to update you on my reading. First of all, I finished my audiobook yesterday, this morning actually, and that was A Strong Female Character by Fern, Brady. I did really, really enjoy this book. It was extremely relatable to me, which is something that I had anticipated and the reason why I wanted to read the book. I think that Fern is very brave in sharing her story like this and also very smart. You can definitely tell that she's a person who has gone through quite a bit to figure out who she is and why she is the way she is, and on that journey had to make some maybe discoveries that she wasn't quite prepared for, but also a lot of people who made it like really, really hard for her to figure out that she was autistic by telling her nonsense like she can't be autistic because she can make eye contact and stuff like that. So I really enjoyed the book. I think that as a book, it definitely had a few issues, like some of the chapters just ended very abruptly, and then also I wasn't always sure why kind of the chapters were done in the way they were, like why are we focusing on this topic now and then on this topic in the next chapter kind of thing. Like some parts of it felt quite chronological, but then not all of it was, and I don't know. I think as like a book, it could have used a little bit more polishing, but as like kind of Fern telling her story, I absolutely loved it. I am also very glad I listened to the audiobook because even though Fern had a cold when she recorded this, I think it is just very special to listen to a memoir that is read by the person who wrote the memoir. So yeah, I enjoyed that a lot. In the end, I gave this one 4 stars. And if you want to read more about like autistic representation, like what is autism like for women who are late diagnosed, maybe also some stuff that is not very stereotypical maybe of what you would think when you hear autism diagnosis, then definitely check this book out. And then I also finished reading We Love You Bunny last night, finally. I'm not quite sure when the bunny vlog will go up. If it's already up when you see this video, then I will link it down below. But if it's not up yet, then you can subscribe so you won't miss it if you're interested. We Love You Bunny is the sequel to Bunny by Mona Awad. I definitely struggled with the sequel quite a lot. Loved Bunny. We Love You Bunny has really good parts, but also stuff that I would just cut out and throw away. Like, you have different narrators in this book. You have the bunnies who are telling parts of the story. And then you have a character called Arius. And honestly, I would say Arius is what you need. All of the bunny stuff you can like just throw away. I did not need that. So while I think that Mona Awad was really trying to do something here, and I think, you know, thematically she was probably also successful, I don't think that the story worked as well as Bunny. I think for Bunny, both things worked. You had a good story with good characters, but then also the thematic work. And in this one, it kind of felt like Mona Awad was like, hey, you're not focusing on the themes enough with Bunny, so I'm just gonna hit you over the head a little bit with this sequel. I don't know, like, I guess the topic, like, academia and like writing elite stuff in the US is also not very interesting to me, to be honest. So I don't think I really needed that. But I did really enjoy Arias' story, and I did like how queer it was in a way, and just Arias kind of figuring out who he was and in a way fighting his inner demons. I enjoyed that part quite a bit. So in the end, I gave We Love You Bunny 3.5 stars. I really liked the ending. The ending made me quite emotional in a way, but we did not need 450 pages to get there. So what am I going to read next, you might ask? I have already started my next audiobook, which is going to be Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson. Now, this is a series I want to read this year. It's one of my series that I set as a goal. So I will do a complete reading vlog for this series, and I will probably not talk a ton about it here. In Her Majesty's Royal Coven, I think we're following 4 characters. Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't met all of them yet, but they are basically witches and they are working for Britain, I guess, and just protecting people, but also, you know, just living their lives, but probably something is going to happen. I have not reached that point yet. What I can say is that the first chapter starts out with a very sad thing about a horse. And I was not prepared for that. And then for my physical read, I will finally start reading Asunder by Kerstin. Now, this book, again, I want to read for a separate reading vlog. I feel like I'm just catching up on reading vlog stuff right now. But yeah, probably also won't talk about this one here much. I also haven't started it yet, so I can't even tell you what it's about. But if you give me this cover and you say it's a book about like God stuff, yeah, I'm just sold. I'm basically just sold. So this is what's happening reading wise, and I'll talk to you when something interesting happens. feel like I shouldn't even update right now, but it is the 15th of August. So we are almost at the end of this vlog. I think I will run it through the weekend and then we can wrap things up for this first part of the month. But I wanted to give you an update and maybe let's just say this is... August has been kind of mean to me, and we are suspecting that there is a curse or a hex on me. Like, I should look up the Exy witches to have this curse removed. I have had so many weird critter incidents in the last week. It's suspicious. It's also supposedly, for now, the last day of a heat wave in Germany, and weirdly I'm looking forward to colder weather and potential rain. So for today, I decided to wash all of our cozy blankets. Between me and Boozy, we have quite a few. And yeah, I just felt like I should use the 36 degrees and straight up sunshine to do the laundry. So I hope you can't hear it in the background, but it is necessary. So yeah, we're looking forward to the colder weather. I'm also a little bit worried because whenever the temperature drops, that could be a migraine thing for me. So fingers crossed. I will be fine. Because of that, because I have had like some really traumatic critter experiences in my apartment, I had the most horrible week, and some of it, yeah, left me unable to sleep. And yeah, it wasn't a good time. It wasn't a good time, and so the reading wasn't happening. But I think I'm back. Yesterday was good. Today already made some progress. So let's talk about the books I'm reading. So I'm currently halfway through Asunder, and I am really, really liking this book. Now, I'm so excited to be reading this. This was one of my most anticipated books that I finally got because I was waiting for the paperbacks to be available. I don't think there's an audiobook available to me, at least I haven't found one. So we are halfway through, and I think I can tell you a little bit more about this book right now. So we are following our main character of Kerstin, and she is a death speaker. That means that she has made kind of a deal. It's called a compact with this entity, Sebaster, and this is basically kind of like a demon-y creature you can imagine, and because of that, Kerstin can now see behind the veneer and talk to kind of like the energy that is left behind when people die. And she, at the beginning of the book, is sent on a mission in this land, in this, I think it's like the capital city, and she is with this guy she doesn't really like, and they're going to a spot where they smuggled goods. And the last smuggling thing kind of went awry. Everyone has disappeared. Nobody knows what happened, and she's kind of there to figure this out. However, when they enter, they find something very, very unexpected. And what they find is constructs. And those constructs are extremely creepy. The whole description of what happens in that moment, I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's, it's very creepy, very, very creepy. Our main character is kind of on her own, and she's trying to escape those things. And when she does that, she meets this random guy called Fern. Sorry if I mispronounce the names, it's like, fantasy names. And this guy is like hiding from the constructs as well, and he has this magical artifact where he can kind of freeze time in a way, like very broadly. And he has been hurt, so he is now in that frozen time frame where he won't die from his injury, but as soon as time gets normal again, he will probably immediately die. And so they make a deal that she will try to save him with his like magical thing that can freeze time and with her specific magic, kind of like using both together so she can save him. And the thing is that with that, she does something that she didn't really try to do with that. It's like very difficult kind of magics that come together, because in this world there had been kind of like old gods and they have been destroyed by these demony creatures. And so his artifact is from the old gods and her magic is from the new demony creatures. And combining the two like that probably wasn't like the smartest idea. So now basically she has Fern in her head and in her shadow. And now they're trying to fix it. This is literally what happens like in the first 2 chapters or something, maybe 3. And then things just get crazier and crazier. Every chapter I read, I'm like, what's happening now? Like, what is going on? It is extremely crazy stuff. And you know, I do like me a good fast-paced book. This is a fast-paced book. Like, there is no rest for the wicked in this one. We do meet some other people along the way, and some of them decide to help Karis on this journey for very different reasons. But then also, we learn that Sebaster, the demony creature she made this compact with, might have his own plans for her. And they are not quite what she thought they would be. So this book is it's just a wild ride. It's just a wild ride. We're at a point where I'm like, I don't even want to speculate what is going to happen in the second part of this book. I have no idea, but I'm here. I'm here and I'm ready and I'm gonna find out. So that is my physical read. And then for my audiobook, I am now almost 60% into Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson. This book is very different from what I expected, and I'm doing a whole reading vlog for the series. So you know, there will be all of my thoughts for that, but I am having a good time with it. And what is a very interesting experience for me is that I am very invested in both my audiobook and in my physical read, and it's really hard right now for my brain to switch because I just get so stuck in one story that it's like hard for me to then go into the other again. And that is usually not something that happens. I always have an audiobook and an eyeball read going at the same time, and it's not usually a problem, but both of these books just have my brain really engaged, and that is a good thing, but it's also a little bit of a struggle juggling both of those. With Her Majesty's Royal Coven, we basically follow 4 witches who in childhood were kind of best friends. They grew up together, but now they're in their 30s and they're in like very different places in their lives. One of them, Helena, is still working for a coven, Her Majesty's Royal Coven, which is kind of like the official British coven. And the other 3 have now kind of forged their own ways in life after there has been a terrible war when they were in their 20s. And 2 of the characters, Helena and Neve, both lost their husbands in this conflict, and they're both dealing with the grief of that. And our main character is Neve, I would say, and she is now a veterinarian and she lives in this small town where they grew up, and it's like very cozy, very sweet. And then one day there is this prophecy of a like terrible monster, the Leviathan, that will come and destroy the world, and people at the Majesty's Royal Coven are convinced it has to do with this child they found, and the child is very, very powerful. And they're all like super scared that this child is going to bring about that Leviathan. However, Neve is like, hey, when I was part of Her Majesty's Royal Coven, I was, teaching young witches how to work with their power. So I think I can do that again. And so Neve takes over the care of this child. And things go in all crazy directions from there. And I am really enjoying it. However, I do want to say that this is a very, very millennial book. These are very millennial witches. And sometimes it's, even for me, as a millennial, very cringy to read. I have to say that. But yeah, that's where I'm at with my reading. As I said, I will run this vlog through the weekend now, and then we can reconvene one more time and I'll let you know how far I made it in these books. I'm not quite sure whether I can finish either of them in time, but I am really enjoying reading both of these. So today is the 17th of August. We made it through the heat wave. I'm not quite sure if this was the last one we will get this year, but for now it has cooled down from 30 degrees yesterday to 20 degrees today in Celsius. So it is a lot, but I think, we need a little bit of a change in the weather here. It has been very hot for a very long time. But what I'm actually here to say is that I will end this vlog now because we are going into the second half of the month, which hopefully maybe might be a little bit better. I feel like August so far was really not my favorite. Yeah, let me just tell you where I ended up with my books. So for Asunder, I'm now in the last quarter. I have about 20% left of the book, and my hope is to finish this today. It is still so much, like there is stuff happening all the time. You do have some calmer moments. There were some very beautiful moments, and also the author is from South Africa. I believe she's white, but she's a South African author, and you can definitely see how that inspired the world, especially in the second half of the book. There are some magical elephants, which was super, super nice and beautiful and creative. And yeah, I'm just very scared but excited to read the rest of this one. It's going so well. And then for my audiobook, Her Majesty's Royal Coven, I'm in the last third. I have about a quarter of the book left, a little bit more. And things are definitely heating up. One of the characters is starting to show their true colors, and the cozy vibe isn't completely gone like from the first half of the book, but it's definitely going in a direction where like, okay, there's gonna be some drama now. And one side character just passed away, and it was so sad. Last night there was a situation where I was like, okay, this feels like the author is gonna kill the character, and I just stopped listening. I was like, I'm not doing that to myself late at night. I can listen to that in the morning. And so I just did. And yeah, yeah. So we'll see. I have heard that the ending of this book is also quite, eventful and dramatic, and I am not quite ready yet, but I'm also glad that I don't have to wait for the sequel. I can start reading that right away as soon as I'm done. So that's the plan for now. But yeah, this is where my reading ends for this half of the month. I definitely had hoped to get a little bit more done, but then, as I said in my previous update, the stuff that happened with my kitchen and certain critters just completely took me out for a couple of days. And so I'm okay with my reading. I'm fine. I can manage. I'm so glad it's cooling down now though, because I feel like this is like really helping with the critter situation. It had gotten a little bit ridiculous last week. And so, yeah, this is where we will end the vlog. I hope you had fun watching this. I hope that your August is going so much better than mine. But I also feel like I have been resting quite a lot, or I've tried at least. And I feel like I'm getting to the point where I'm getting, enough energy back to like do more steps to move forward. So that's really good. For a while, that really like just wasn't happening, and that's also fine. If you don't feel well, you have to acknowledge that and you have to give yourself time, and that's what I've been trying to do. But I feel like we're getting to the point where a little bit more forward movement might be possible finally. So that's really exciting for me, but also not overdoing it. Okay, that is so much stuff you don't care about. I hope you had fun watching this vlog. I hope that the second half of August will be more exciting and fun, and I have some great books to read. So if you don't want to miss the next vlog, then feel free to subscribe. Leave a like for this video if you enjoyed it, because it makes me really happy, even though it feels like YouTube is slowly trying to get rid of the likes. I don't know. You can also comment down below, like, how is your August going? Any exciting books you've read so far? I would love to hear about that. And I will talk to you soon. Bye!